Hello, and welcome to day 2 of the Hello Spring Challenge. Today, we're chatting about how to choose an email service provider. And there's a little bit more to it than you might think. And I don't want to make this extra complicated for you. So that's why we're going to just hit on the most important things to look at when you're choosing one of these ESPs, i.e. email service providers. And let's dig right into this. If you're not a part of this already, this is the Hello Spring Challenge. We're on day 2. You didn't miss much on day 1. We were just saying hello to everyone. So you didn't miss a whole lot. But if you want to jump on in right now, you totally can. It's at hellospringchallenge.com. And it's free. It's for 5 days. So this is day 2. You got 3 more days after this. Today is a very important day because today you're selecting your email service provider. So we'll go over how to choose one. And first tip is when size actually matters. So with an email service provider, it does actually matter about how big of a company or brand you are. So if you're a massive organization like a Coke or a Howden, where I used to work in Scotland, or other places where you have a robust sales team and they need to be able to track and follow up and all that good stuff, you're going to need a system like a Salesforce, something like that. That's a CRM, is a customer relationship management tool, which includes an email service provider. However, most small businesses, and by small, I mean government definition small, we're talking $250 million or less in revenue in year, or 250 employees or less. If you're that small company size or you're a smaller brand, you're going to want an easier, simpler email service provider. So that's really what we're focusing on today, is for the smaller businesses and smaller brands. What should you be using? Okay. And hello, say hello if you've joined. Thank you, and welcome to the Hello Spring Challenge. So we talked about size, when size actually matters. The next thing to consider is, are you B2B or are you B2C? So B2B is business to business. You're mostly a business talking to other businesses, or you're a brand talking to other businesses. Or you're B2C, which is business to consumer. So you're a business or brand talking directly to an individual person, buyer, consumer, who's going to buy this service or product directly. So whatever it is that you're selling, or some people in this challenge are not actually selling anything yet, you're building an audience for a book, but you will eventually sell a book, or you're just building yourself as an industry leader, a thought leader, or you're vying for a position in your community organization. Everyone has a reason to build a list, because at some point, everyone has a reason to get people to do something for them. And whatever form of action you need people to take, buy something, do something for you, this is what an email list is good for. So are you B2B or are you B2C is another good question when you're choosing an email list. The next most important questions are, how much does it cost and how easy is it to use? So cost, it is a factor, but it's not the only thing. And I don't want you to choose only on cost for 2 reasons. One, because you're going to consider how you're going to grow over the next 2 years. And 2, if you choose something based purely on cost, you're going to miss out on some of the really most important features you don't even know you need yet. And that's why we're going over this right now. So stay tuned for that. But don't look at cost alone. It is a factor, but the vast majority, like 5 out of 6 of the people companies I'm sharing with you today, the email service providers, most of them offer a nice, long enough free trial, and some have a free version forever and ever, which is great. So we'll tell you about that. So don't let cost be your major deciding factor. It's more so, how easy is it to use? So really, functionality over cost. How easy is it for you, if you yourself are going to be sending these emails out, or someone on your team, if you're so lucky to have a team already, someone on your team to use? How easy is that going to be for them? So how much does it cost and how easy is it to use is a big factor. If you're just joining us, this is part of the Hello Spring Challenge. We do this every year, and it's always a marketing focused challenge. And this year, the focus is email marketing. So it's a freebie challenge. We're on day 2. You didn't miss much on day 1, and it goes all the way through day 5, which is Friday. So by the way, my birthday's tomorrow. Fun coincidence. It always goes around springtime. So Anyway, you're welcome to join us. Next, and the final factor is, will it play nice with your other tech tools you've already got? So if you've already got, if your website, for example, is WordPress or Squarespace or Wix or one of those, and think about all the other tools you may use. You may already have a CRM system that you're using. If you do, it likely already has the ESP, email service provider. What are all those tech tools you're using, Shopify, etc.? Think about all those, and will it integrate with your email service provider? So are there API integrations available between WordPress and Constant Contact? You're going to want to check, because it would be a shame to fall in love with the email service provider and get all the way into it and even be paying for it, and then realize that it doesn't actually connect up with your pop-ups on your website or wherever else you happen to have some technology going. So check and see, do the integrations exist with what you're already using? Very important. Hello to those of you who've joined us. Feel free to say hi in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And let me know where you're chiming in from. The next thing I want you to think about is, which is best? Is it ActiveCampaign? Is it AWeber, Constant Contact, ConvertKit, or MailChimp? There are a slew, just disclaimer, there are a slew of hundreds and thousands of email service providers you can choose from, many solid choices. I'm just telling you the ones that a lot of my clients come to the door with. So these are a lot of the brands that small businesses are using. So we'll just have a quick comparison of these. Thank you for the heart, whoever gave that. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, so I actually have a little slide to share with you. If I can get this up here for you. You guys see that okay? All right, so this is the little ebook I put together for you for this challenge. It's called Put Email to Work for You. Again, if you sign up for hellospringchallenge.com, you can get this little freebie ebook. It's just a guide to go along with what's happening in these 5 days. And it's a great reference tool, I think, for once you're done with this challenge, you can reference it later. So you're welcome. That's a freebie I gave for you. So we're going to flip forward to this section. There we are. So ActiveCampaign. Is there a freebie level to this? No, there isn't. However, it's a very popular email service provider because of all the many different forms of funnels that you can pull together in this system. It makes doing campaign funnels really, really easy. And so that's why people are falling in love with ActiveCampaign. So there's lots and lots of pros and cons to this. As you can see, it's pretty easily priced, nicely priced, $15 to $61 a month, give or take, and then there are some cons to this too. So it might take you a minute to figure out the most advanced marketing features on this platform, because it is a little more complicated. So either you're going to be hiring someone who already knows how to do it, or you're going to be investing a nice amount of time to figure out how to do it yourself. But is it possible? Yes. It's not super rocket science. If I can do it, any of you can do it. But will it take some time? Is there a learning curve? Yes, there is. So that's ActiveCampaign. And this is just an ABC order, FYI. So this is not in my order of preference, just of the 6 that I'm showing you, 5 or 6. AWeber is next. I actually only heard of this one because of a client who was already using it. So I hadn't heard of it. They were surprised that I hadn't heard of it, but I'm not surprised because, again, there's hundreds of these you can choose from, very solid choices, most of them. It's only 2.4% of the market, AWeber. So it's kind of like an emerging entrant. But is it still a solid product? Yes, absolutely. It's a very easy learning curve from what I hear. This is not one I use very much, but easy to use, which is very important, especially if you're going to use it yourself. And the drawback is it's not very fancy. It does lack some range of features and all of that. So the good thing is it's a freebie level up to 1,000 subscribers, much like MailChimp. It's a freebie level. You can stay there up to 1,000 subscribers. So a lot of people, it takes them a while to get to their first 1,000. So if that's you and you don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, you can totally try AWeber out for free, see what you think about it. So if you already are using, oh, hey guys, I didn't see your comments over here. Juan from Greenville, thank you. Andrea, thanks for joining. Awesome. So glad to have you here on Facebook and over on Instagram earlier, and Juan on LinkedIn. Good to see you. This is so cool. This is so cool. And I'm glad you can hear me because, it's like my first time going live on all these platforms at once. It's kind of cool. All right, let me get back to business. So, all right, so we're comparing these few real fast, and I won't take up too much more of your time because I promised I would try to keep this under 15 minutes. So let's go. All right, so AWeber, we talked about that. Constant Contact, I do see a lot of people using Constant Contact. Atlanta Black Chambers, one of the organizations I'm involved with, uses it a good bit. A couple of my clients use Constant Contact, very familiar with it. It does have good templates you can use. So if you like visual emails, it does come with a nice range of visual templates you can get into and play with. Do I like it better than some other platforms that we'll talk about? Not really, in terms of visuals, but the list building stuff is pretty cool. The way you can segment your list and all that, and how you can pull in different audiences all in the same email instead of in other systems, you have to send a different email per each segment. That's all a little fancy if you've not gotten into the space, but just trust me when I tell you, if you like to divvy up your audience and speak to different people, and sometimes speak to several audiences at once, depending on the message, Constant Contact could be that platform for you. So there is a freebie trial period. It only lasts for 60 days. So unlike AWeber and MailChimp, where you can be up to a certain level of subscribers, Constant Contact limits you to basically 2 months. It's long enough to hook you. So Constant Contact is a solid choice also. If you're just joining, say hello. Would love to hear from you. If you're on the replay, also say hi. And let me know if you're already using one of these email service providers and what you think of it. Do you love it? Do you wish it would do something else? Let me know. I'd love to know your feedback. And I'll let you know what I'm using. And I already told you some of my clients use Constant Contact. Therefore, I use Constant Contact. So I do like it. I'm not saying I'm not a fan. It's just not my fave. All right. ConvertKit is a fave of one of my faves. So one of my faves is Pat Flynn, and he is always pushing ConvertKit. He's like on their advisory board, and he uses it himself a good bit. I get his emails, and they're always from ConvertKit. And how I know is because they're text-based emails. So they're not the prettied up HTML emails you may see a good bit. These ones are like text only, very plain text. And at first I really hated that idea just because I'm such a visual person and I've been used to playing in the visual HTML pretty email world for so long. It was weird to me to see a system that was text-based only. Like, why would you ever do that to yourself? I didn't get that at all. However, what I will say about that is it's similar to your everyday emails that we get all the time and we share with each other. So if we're emailing back a client or we're emailing back a colleague, it's going to be a text-based email similar to what you'd receive with ConvertKit. And does that help with the deliverability? Absolutely. So there's something to be said for text-based emails. If your brand is text-based email friendly, meaning you don't mind sending the text-only, non-super prettied emails, ConvertKit could work great for you. And it's an amazing, awesome tool for that reason. Is there a freebie level? Yes, up to 1,000 subscribers. So that's another one that you can try out, see what it's like. Of course, they're going to limit your features up to 1,000 subscribers, on the freebie plan. So you can jump in with a paid plan to try out the new features. It starts out at $15 a month for up to 300 subscribers. So that's a cool one to check out, mainly because one of my faves uses it, loves it. So you can't go wrong with ConvertKit for sure. This last one, only because it's last on the list by alphabetical order, happens to be my favorite recommendation for clients. So if a client comes in the door and they don't have an email service provider chosen yet, my recommendation for them is typically going to be this MailChimp. So MailChimp is a fave. You can do the freebie level forever if you want, much like ConvertKit and some of these others. However, again, you're going to be limited on features, and I don't recommend you can't stay on that free level long, because one of the things you can't do on MailChimp from the freebie level is schedule your emails. So that's important unless you want to be here, waiting at 12 o'clock at noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whenever you want to send your email, you're going to have to press send right then when you want it to go on the freebie level. Whereas on a simple paid level, very nominal, $17 a month, as you can see here, up to 500 subscribers, pay that little bit of money, it will pay itself back. I promise you, at least tenfold, easily, depending on what you're selling. So it's worth it. It's worth it. But can you get in there with the freebie version enough to be dangerous and send your first emails and get your feet wet and see what you think of it? Yes, you can. And you can try out the templates as well, which are beautiful. So try out MailChimp. That's my favorite one. You can try these others as well. Most of them are free with the exception of the first. And let me know what you think. But that is it for today, my darlings. I hope you enjoyed this chat about MailChimp and AWeber and all these. Let me take this off for you. And again, this is day 2 of the Hello Spring Challenge. So we hope to see you back for day 3, 4, and 5 this week. Tomorrow is my birthday. There will be some prizes going out on my birthday, FYI. So if you're in the challenge, yay for you. If you're not in the challenge, it's, again, not too late to join. HelloSpringChallenge.com. It's scrolling around down there if you see that. So, definitely join for the birthday prizes, and join just because everybody needs an email list. I don't care what you're doing in your life. Because everyone needs somebody to do something for them at some point. And email can be a great way to get people to do things for you. But you got to give in order to get, right? We'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, my dears, have a good one. Thanks so much again. Oh, I missed you. I missed what you said. She said, that's right. Yeah, girl. Yeah, Andrea. Okay. Thanks so much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, 5:30-ish. We go live on Instagram first at 5 p. Eastern time, 2 p. Pacific, 9 p. in the UK, for those of you in the UK area. And we go about half hour later on LinkedIn, Facebook, and such. So, alrighty. See you next time. Thank you, Juan, and thanks for the early happy birthday. Appreciate it. So fun. All right. Bye-bye.